Okay, class, so I'm not going to go through and do all of these, but I am going to give you some of them and explain why. So if you're stuck, hopefully on some of these, you'll be able to figure out what you did and why. Okay, so let's take a look at number 4. So we have 3t plus 2r equals 2r plus 3t. So if we look at how the left side is different than the right side, right, what's really happening is the 3t was first, and now that 3t is second. So they changed the order. So we know whenever we're changing the order, that is the commutative property. Okay, and then the sign or operation that's happening in between where they're changing order is addition. So that should be the commutative property of addition. Okay, if we look at number 7, this is very similar to sort of one of the ones we did in class when we were practicing. Okay, what's changing is right here, right? P to Q and Q to P. So that N is part of the problem, but it's not really important right now. So the P and Q changed order, which again, when we're changing order is the commutative property. And the operation that's happening in between the P and the Q is multiplication, right? If we don't see a property at all, we know that that is multiplication. Okay, if we look at number 11, on number 11, right, we have a number, and when we get over to the equal sign, it's staying the same. So we have a number, and we're multiplying it by 1. It just happens to be in a different order. So instead of saying a number times 1, it's 1 times a number. Okay, and whenever we're multiplying by 1 to get the same value, that is our identity of multiplication. On number 12, our order stays the same. So we have 2C, 6, 10. 2C, 6, 10. The order stayed the same. The only thing that changed is how those were broke up, right? Those parentheses are grouping them differently. And when we group differently, that's our associative property. And that's happening through addition. So that's our associative of addition. Number 14, right? We had parentheses, and we're taking this 5, and it's now showing up in 2 places. The 5 is going here, and the 5 is going here. When we pass that 5 out, that is our distributive property. Number 15. Okay, so it looks like we have multiplication. Well, we do have multiplication, right? But remember, in a fraction, this is really division. So when we're multiplying by 1/2, we sort of said the same idea as dividing by 2. And it's set equal to 1. So we're undoing it, which we said was the inverse property. And it's the inverse property of multiplication. Okay, so there's 6 of them you know that you should have correct, which is just a little less than half. So you go and finish the rest, and we're going to take a look at these tomorrow in class.